Hello, Brooklyn. I'm Ari Kagan, Democratic District Leader in 45th Assembly District in Southern Brooklyn. And tonight we are going to talk about community relations. Brooklyn is a beautiful borough. We live in the center of the universe. It's almost 3 million people. It's every nationality, religion, race possible. So it's a home to so many communities. And everything should be okay. We should not even talk about it. It should be automatic. But unfortunately, nothing is automatic in this life. And in order to improve community relations, in order for people just to talk to each other, just to acknowledge each other, just to learn about each other, sometimes it requires a very, very hard work. So tonight we are hosting a forum. It's called United We Stand. How Brooklyn communities can talk to each other, can cooperate for our better future and for our better presence, actually. And I invited tonight to this beautiful studio many prominent community leaders from every neighborhood of Brooklyn. They are already working on the ground, like we like to talk grassroots, bringing people together. That's why I invited all of them. I wanted to introduce all of my guests, and then each one of them will share their experience, what they are doing to make sure that Brooklyn is prosperous and that we live in a great, great city and we enjoy being members of the society in the capital of the world without all of this hate, stereotypes, prejudice, and so many other issues you're reading in newspapers, you're watching on TV. So I will start, I don't know, let's start from my right side, you know. So I wanted to introduce a great leader in Pakistani American community. Her name is Irum Hanif. I want her to say a few words. Irum, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Ari. My name is Iram Hanif. I am Program Director at Apna Adult Daycare Center and Apna Brooklyn Community Center. We are basically a community center and we are helping our community members in applying for their entitlements. Basically, I just want to give a little brief how we incorporated and how we established. So basically, initially we started a senior center by the name of Apna Adult Daycare Center. When we started a senior center in Brighton Beach, on Brighton 7th Street, people started coming to us and there were so many difficulties because of the language, because of culture, and because of religion. They were not able to navigate through the social system. So we identified the need of having a community center in the Brighton Beach area, and we established a community center. So through our community center, we help them in applying for so many benefits and entitlements when it comes to Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, disability, or food stamp. So this is a little brief about what we are doing at a community center. Over to the next guest.
Irum, we will have a chance to talk about what your center is doing because it's called Community Center.
Right.
Okay, we will talk a little bit later. Just brief introduction and then we will come back to this topic.
Yes, my name is Ingrid Joseph and I'm a civil court judge and the supervising judge of the civil court in Brooklyn, located at 141 Livingston Street. It's known as the People's Court, where we address all the issues that affect their daily lives.
And what is your neighborhood? Where do you live?
I live in Bed-Stuy.
Okay, Bedford-Stuyvesant. Brian?
My name is Brian Gottlieb. I've lived in Coney Island for the last 35 years. I'm the president and founder of Shorefront Toys for Tots, an organization that I created in my mother's memory in 1995. My mother passed in 1993 at the age of 52, and since we started, we've reached out to more than 40,000 children in terms of distributing holiday gifts during Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, sponsor child safety programs, reading programs, and doing anything we can to help children succeed in the future.
Okay. I just wanted to add that both Irum Hanif and Brian Gottlieb are members of Community Board 13. Again, they were chosen and appointed to Community Board 13 because of their involvement in the community. And when I say word community, I mean Brooklyn community. I'm talking about all our beautiful communities of Brooklyn. So another member of Community Board 13, Shirley Akins, please say a few words about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Ari. Yeah, my name is Shirley Akins. I'm a resident of Cary Gardens. I am also a resident leader in which I oversee a development of 689 units. That's over 1,000 some residents in my development. I also participate a lot within my community for as a politicians goes. I also have a singers club in Coney Island, which is called Coney Island Senior Divas.
Okay. That's great. So we have members of Coney Island Divas Club. Very good. Okay, Irina Roisin.
My name is Irina Roisin. I came to Brighton Beach and Coney Island in 1976 as a child. Grew up there in the neighborhood with a dream to have a dance school that would be affordable for all the children in the community to study dance and arts. And I accomplished my dream, and the school is 32 years old, and it unites the children from all different background and religious, and we are so proud because our program is called World of Dance, where we introduce the community and all the kids to the culture of all countries that live in this neighborhood.
So we're talking about thousands and thousands of students of every nationality, race, and religion from all over Brooklyn, correct? So we'll come back to you later. Dr. Tim Law.
Hi, good evening. My name is Tim Law. I work for New York City Department of Education. I retired. I worked there for 35 years. I lived in the Bensonhurst almost 40 years. I am the chief advisor of Chinese American Social Service Center. I conduct a lot of workshops every month, monthly meetings, invite the city officials, the police officer, city, the other elect officials conduct a workshop for us. So helping our community members get the most information. Later on, I'm going to talk about how we build a good relationship with our communities.
And you're also a member of Community Board 11.
Community Board 11 and Coney Island Hospital at JCH2.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Judge Stephen Mostofsky. I'm acting justice in the Supreme Court here in Brooklyn. I'm a lifelong Brooklynite, born in Brookdale Hospital, just moved a couple of 100 yards to the west. I now live in the Midwood community with my entire family. My grown children all live here in Brooklyn as well. I'm a justice, acting justice in the Supreme Court, where I serve in the mental hygiene part. I've been involved in many community organizations, the Jewish Community Council of Flatbush, as well as the Midwood Development Corporation, other organizations before I got on the bench, and now I'm doing my work on the court.
And I know that you were a member of school board as well.
Yes, I was a member. Thank you. I forgot. Okay. Yes, I was a member of the school board District 21. Thank you, Harry.
Okay. And now Joseph Bova.
My name is Joseph Bova. I'm the Democratic District Leader of the 49th Assembly District, which encompasses the communities of Dyker Heights, Sunset Park, Bay Ridge, and Bensonhurst. I'm a lifelong resident of Dyker Heights, and I've served as the former chairman of Community Board 10 and a past president of the Bensonhurst Lions Club, just to mention a few.
Very good. Okay. So now we are coming back to the main topic of our discussion, community relations, how different communities can cooperate for the benefit of all Brooklynites. But before I continue our forum, I wanted to mention that this forum is sponsored by amazing home care agency called Easy Living of New York. And this is home care agency that provides absolutely amazing help to seniors, to people with disabilities. And I wanted to remind their phone number is 718-747-8685. And they have a very easy website, www.easylivingny.com. So if you want easy living, you can call them. And you will have very easy living in Brooklyn and citywide in New York. So coming back to our topic. Again, I decided to invite each of these amazing community leaders because I believe we have a problem in Brooklyn. And the problem is sometimes people live across the street, even in the same building, in the same neighborhood, and they're not talking to each other. And the problem is not like language barrier, oh, they don't speak certain language. No, that's not true. Very often people speak the same language and they do not want to talk to each other or do not understand each other or have some kind of like predisposed views of various communities. And again, we'll start with APNA Community Center. When you say Brighton Beach, what community immediately comes to mind? Of course, Russian-speaking community. Yes, Russian-speaking Americans constitute the majority of residents at Brighton Beach. But it's a little secret, but it's not just Russian-speaking community lives in Brighton Beach. How about Pakistani American community, Mexican American community? A lot of American non-Russian speaking Jews living in Brighton Beach area, and everybody else. So that's why I like hard work of organizations like APNA Brooklyn. It's called APNA Brooklyn Community Center. Each time I'm coming there, I see they service everybody, and they provide services for everybody, being like English language, for example, or like IDNYC program, or even events I saw you in a Brooklyn Public Library in Brighton First, again, for everybody. So please talk about it a little bit.
So as Ari said, that Brighton Beach is not only full with the Russian-speaking community members, it has many other communities living together at Brighton Beach area, including Southeast Asian community members, Pakistani Asians, then Bangladeshi, Arabic-speaking, Spanish and Mexican community members, Jewish community members. We all are living together. But as he said that sometimes it's difficult for the community members in terms of navigating through the system and getting the benefits out for themselves and for their families. So we have collaborated with city agencies, though we are a very new community center. It's been a year we established, but we have in this last year, we have collaborated with Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, and they have used our center as a pop-up site for IDNYC. And over there, many community members from Jewish community, from Russian community, from Spanish community, they came and they got their ID and IDs. They got their IDs at our center. We did partnership with Grow Brooklyn in last year, and we have provided free tax filing and preparation services where many community members came. It was our second year. We did partnership with Grow Brooklyn, which is a very renowned and well-established organization. Similarly, we did partnerships with Brighton Beach Library in terms of taking our community members to Brighton Beach Library and getting the services which the library is providing.
And I saw you and Pervez Siddiqui, the president of APNA Brooklyn Community
Yes,
Center
me
in
and Pervez
Shorefront
Siddiqui.
Y
Yeah.
at a resource fair organized by Community Board 13.
Yeah, we participated in the Shorefront Y resource fair. We have already did partnership with Shorefront JCC in with their food pantry. And it is our second month that we are distributing grocery to the community members in partnership with Shorefront JCC. So we are open and we are working with all the other community organizations in better serving the community of Brighton Beach. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So you see, this is the example, one of many examples how we can cooperate, you know, like when we're offering services of various organizations to everybody. That's how it should be. It breaks stereotyping, you know, like I was at Brighton Festival organized by APNA Brooklyn Community Center, and there were performances by Russian-speaking musicians.
Yes.
And like they invited everybody, and anybody from Brighton Beach could come and would be welcomed and embraced. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I invited you here, you know, like otherwise, you know, like, very often you see signs in several organizations or offices, no hate here, hate-free zone, you know. People who are in this studio right now, they're working every day to make sure that Brooklyn is a hate-free zone. And again, it's not easy because it requires sometimes a lot of patience, a lot of explanation, a lot of education, but it's very important that we hear all of these stories. That's why we're having this forum. And again, thank you to Easy Living Home Care Agency of New York for sponsoring this forum. Phone number is 718-747-8685. And you will have very easy living, and you can provide better living for your loved ones, especially seniors and people with disabilities, if you use services of Easy Living of New York. Our next guest, civil court judge Ingrid Joseph. I saw her talking to people at Brighton Jubilee, and she's not afraid to go all over Brooklyn. And I know that you have clients from every background, and sometimes people have predisposed stereotyping. Oh, when they see Orthodox Jewish judge or African American judge, and they see like, oh, probably, you know, like I do not look like this person, then I will not get a fair treatment. So I wanted you to share your experience. I know you're also supervising judge. So it's not just you working yourself, you're supervising 12 other judges. So you have quite an experience. Could you share with us, please?
Well, what we've tried to do is to make sure that each individual's case is heard and that we provide everybody with respect and dignity, regardless of what your ethnicity is or where you're from. Our job is to try to make sure that we communicate, because communication is the best way that we can work through our differences. We have in our court different languages so that when you're coming to court, that you're not lost in the process because you're not able to communicate either to the judge or the arbitrator what your exact facts of your case are. So we've tried to do things to make sure that when we're talking or trying to resolve the matter, that everybody understands the process. We've tried to make sure that we have made signage on the floors as you come into the courtroom, into the building. Absolutely. So that when you're not lost because you don't understand. We've provided signs with different languages, and we've provided interpreters who sometimes we have to call and order a particular language, from Bengali to Cantonese to Creole, so Russian. To Russia, Polish. So there's a range of people who help to service the community to make sure that when you're approaching a judge, that you're not frightened or that you're not making assumptions that are going to be made by you. So that's one of the things that we try to do.
And since you're a judge, I wanted to ask you one more question. Again, have you ever noticed that maybe it's an immigrant from another country where it was done differently? You know, in every country, justice is done very differently, you know. And so some people coming to your courtroom and feeling that they would be like immediately ostracized because of how they look, what they're wearing, and the way they talk. How do you feel about these situations, especially when you're talking about newcomers, you know, like people who are in the country like for a few years?
The first thing we do is not ask anybody about their citizenship. And that's one of the issues that people are afraid of. And they're also afraid that if they came from a country that the justice system is not based on juries or based on a judge listening to all the facts from all the parties before deciding. The assumption is that when they come in, you're automatically going to determine that because of how you look or where you come from or what you're wearing, that your position is not worth listening to.
Or someone already called you and said, like, this is how this case should be decided. Okay,
well, no, like we have independent judges
like
in our system.
Mayor, president, like Putin calling someone, you know? Okay.
No, we have independent judges who basically all have seminars to keep them abreast of the law, and then as a whole, we're all determined to give justice to the citizens of Brooklyn. So we listen to the facts, we apply it to the law, we try to balance the equities of each community as it comes in contact with the law. So we try to dispel that fear that this is, when you're coming to court, that somehow it's all going to be a negative process.
So people should not be afraid
to
come to the court?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
The People's Court, civil court, is where you can bring your cases.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Brian, I was at several events you organized, Toys for Tots in the hospital and in various communities, and you already explained why you are doing this, and you're a member of Community Board 13, you're former chairman of Community Board 13. And I know that you like to bring people together, like a hobby for you. So could you share any experience when you're working on this particular aspect of your life? I mean, Toys for Tots or education. I know it's your passion. You're also former school board member. So how do you see what should be done, what is not done so far how do you see bringing people together? It's easy to say, but it's not very often easy to do.
Well, it's not easy to do, but first of all, the underlying principle behind Shorefront Toys for Tots is a child is a child is a child, without regard to ethnic background, educational background, or any other type of category. Child in need is a child in need, and that child's needs should be addressed without regard to any other factor. When I was chair of the community board, or with Judge Mostofsky serving on the school board, I was always trying to bring everybody to the table, trying to make sure that everybody had a voice and was able to express their opinion, their voice, their interests. And we realized that not every interest, goes through. Not everybody gets their way. It's always a compromise. But it's important to make sure that everybody's heard, that everybody has a voice, everybody is able to express their needs, their concerns, their wants, and not to be feeling that they were shut out or left out of the process.
So you're saying that sometimes very important just for people to be able to talk, just like to express their opinion.
It's also important to listen and to be able to incorporate.
Who should listen, by the way? Who?
Everybody should listen. Everyone should be at the table. Everyone should not feel that they're being left out. Okay. Even if their opinion is not the one that prevails, but they're part of the process, and part of what their wants could be addressed the way they want it, and even if it's not the entire thing.
Very good. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you. I like what you said. It's not just ability to talk, but also ability to listen. And sometimes people feel that like nobody listening. Sometimes people feel like nobody wants to hear any other opinion, So I'm trying not to talk myself now and to give a chance to talk to Shirley Akins. She's an amazing resident leader, and just recently she had a very successful family day, and she brought everybody, Russian-speaking residents of Coney Island, African Americans, Hispanic, Asians, you name it. So I know it's not easy, but your smile, your open heart help people to feel like they're at home.
Yes, that's very good at home.
And your Facebook posts also, by the way.
Yes, you are one of my Facebook friends. So are you, Brian. I deal with a lot of seniors because they are the most vulnerable people. They don't have anyone to listen to, who can listen to them. So I look at it like they need a voice, because their voice isn't carrying loud enough for people to hear what they're saying. And I like to hear what they're saying. I mean, we talking about history from you looking at someone who was like 80-some years old, 90-some years old. That's history to me. That's something that I'm learning. I learned all of this here from my grandmother, at a young age when I was following behind her on her skirt. And it just stayed inside me to be around older people. Without them, I don't have the energy. They are my energy. They give me the strength. Because if they don't have me, they lost. And I don't want to see, our seniors lost like this. And another thing is that...
Shirley, what I noticed at your family day recently, when you came to a group of Russian-speaking seniors,
yes.
Some of them do not speak English fluently,
yes,
but they embraced you, they love you, they praise you. So how do you communicate with them? What did you do for them so they love you so much?
I guess my smile, a lot to them, always say hello. The communication with me for them, I cannot speak Russian. But, it's expression on a person's face, the way how you approach them, what brings them closer to you. And that's what I do for the Russians. I have a Russian lady who used to live on my floor, Marina, and she's my grandmother. Their Baba, what she called them, because, she known them for so many years. But I look at the Russians as if, they too need a voice to help them along because of their English barrier, because of their barrier to not speaking English that well. So I try my best to listen to what they have to say to translate that to them. And as a resident leader, that's one of my things that I have to try to do is try to bring everybody together. As I say, with 680-some units of 1,000-some people that I have to try to bring together, it's very hard for me. But I do the best that I totally can, young and old. But I like to see a more better, strong communication with the Russians because they sometimes sit by themselves and with nobody to talk to other than each other. But me as a person, I want to get to know them so they could get to know me, so I can also help them along the way.
So very important, if you heard Shirley correctly, even a smile, even you say hello in elevator, on the street, how are you, even if the only word people know is hello and smile on your face, it's already bringing people together, as you just heard. But I know you do much more than just say hello.
Oh, of course.
How about
Of course.
solving their like everyday problems in their apartments?
Of course
How
I
about bringing their issues to the management? So
Of
it's
course.
not just hello.
Oh no, it's not
Don't
just
try
that.
to be
It's-
modest.
no, well, as a resident leader, you know, that's what I have to do. Basically, you know, I have helped many our residents inside the apartment, which is a NYCHA development, and you know, I don't have to go through the issues as how things are situated now with NYCHA. A lot of them I look at and say, well, something isn't right, and when they come to me and try to explain to me, I have them write it down, and I do have a Russian interpreter to transfer it to, you know, translate it to me.
So you're making the effort
Oh,
so
yes.
everybody understands
I have
each
to,
other.
you know,
right?
I really have to, in order for me to understand them, so they could know who the type of person I am for. And you know, I would like to thank you, because on that day that, you know, I was having my event, I had to come to you to say, Ari, please translate, you know, to them for me, and I was shocked to hear them say, oh wow, you know, I know her, she's a beautiful person, you know, because I've known them for many years, you know, I could say like 16 some years that I have known them. Yes, and I thank you.
Thank you. So I also wanted to mention, I mentioned already Facebook, you know, social media could be a weapon of good or could be a weapon of evil, as you know, it depends how you use it. And in case of Shirley Akins, she's definitely using Facebook and social media to promote love, to promote kindness, and she's talking about how to help children, any children, by the way. And then also you care about not just your building, not just your development, not just Coney Island, but also all Brooklynites and even all New York. You are ready to go to Manhattan, to other neighborhoods, just to advocate for your community.